Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, we're answering your emails, your questions. We love hearing from you. The topics include getting off on a partner's sexual history. What does that mean? What to do with an uncircumcised penis? And also, we're talking to Carrie from UV, just the woman behind the coolest invention that's hit the sex industry in years. That's all. Okay, enjoy the show, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they called them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend?
Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good.
But Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com, where you can do so many amazing things there. Our site is so robust and beautiful, right, Anderson? Hi, Anderson.
It's bountiful.
It's bountiful. We've got every day. We got a crack team of writers here, people and staff, and we've got amazing blogs and tips to help you have better sex. Mm-hmm. So check that out. Subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the podcast. That helps us. And follow me on social media because I freaking love social media.
It's like a full-sized woman over there.
Where?
Yeah, over at your site. So they got everything.
They got
right?
everything. Exactly.
Fill out that dress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big bosom woman. Like all the information you have.
Well, it's
like
funny because this is the new year, and I got to say, Ken, who runs my
You're
company,
with Ken.
I'm not obsessed. I'm obsessed
yes.
with you. But he sent me the numbers. It's like, oh my God, we had everything doubled. The number of listeners, the people who went to the website, the people who, all of you. Like I am so. If we're talking about like New Year's resolutions and gratitude and all that stuff, I am just so grateful for all my listeners that going into my 11th year, or 12th year? Wait, no.
11.
Last year was...
Well, you just did 11 years because your 10-year anniversary was like a year ago,
right?
It's
my 12th year?
It might be going in your 12th year, and
oh my God.
Might be doing that.
Okay,
Ask Ken. I bet he knows. Ken knows.
Ken, my 12th year.
Do you ever look up and just ask Ken questions?
I do, and he answers. It's weird. No, he does. He's always there. He's like always by his phone. He's always like, it's like crazy.
Congratulations, because I do other shows as well, and my whole motivation behind them, other than getting bills paid, which is obviously a big motivator, but it's like a service and getting the word out and helping people make better decisions and spend their time more wisely and watching the right films and that kind of thing. I love to do it for that reason, and to be able to reach a bigger audience is what it's all about. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're helping.
It feels really
more
good.
People, one orgasm at a time, as you say.
I got to tell you, it does feel really good because that is still why I do it. You know me, like I've talked about this like on a previous show, but like it wasn't ever like I'm going to be famous and make lots of money. It was
no.
I love helping people with sex and relationships.
You know what's sad? Like if you did have that part of your drive, like you might have even be like bigger than you are. I think a lot of people that are famous is because they have such a drive to be famous. They need to be famous so bad. And then it's like, wow, great, you're famous now. I got to look at you. You have nothing to offer. Go away. You know what I mean?
It was never about that.
You're genuine, the real deal. Yeah. Genuine article.
It's true. Yeah. I love it. And I love when people like come up to me and they say, and even your emails when you're like, oh my God, you helped me through your sex life. I'm like, this is working.
Have you ever had a stranger come up to you and be like lecherous?
Like I listened to your show. No.
Like, hey, it's Sex with Emily. Yeah.
Only people who don't know me. My friends are like,
yeah.
Yeah. So there are weird things like that where people come up and they're like, oh, you sex with Emily? And I'm like, it's not sex with everybody. I'm not a prostitute, whatever. But here's something cool that happened. I was at one of my favorite places on earth, Four Seasons. I would like to be buried there.
Which one, Beverly Hills?
Yeah. I had a lunch there. Oh, I'm so fancy.
Wow. Look at you.
It was a very important business lunch. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I was excited. It was right before the new year. And I don't go there often, but I do
a lot
love
of interviews there. It's very swanky.
Like I want to like
every time I go there, I'd see someone famous every single time.
It's like a famous place.
Wow.
So here's a funny thing that happened. So I was at lunch, and the waiter comes and takes our orders, and then he comes back and he says, "So Miss Morse, would you like the dressing with this dressing or that dressing with your salad?" And he walked away, and I turned to my friend. I'm like, "Did he just say, Miss Morse? Like, did you give him our names at the check-in?" Like, and he's like, "I don't know. That was weird." So the waiter comes back, and I said, "I have a question for you. Like, how did you know my name?" And he said, "Oh, I'm a huge fan of your podcast. The waiter, he's like, I'm a really big fan of your podcast. And I used to listen to you on Loveline, and I love your podcast. And I have to say that we have a policy here as waiters that if we recognize somebody, we should use their name.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's like service.
I was like, that is so nice.
That is so very nice.
And he goes, and you know what? He goes, we get like really big celebrities, and you're like Leonardo DiCaprio, and I'm like, whatever. But seeing you,
right?
It's
I'm the
great.
same way.
And I'm like, well, wait, but I'm like, is that a backwards? Like, we get like real celebrities.
Yeah, it's
and
a
you're
little
like
backhanded
a little
yeah.
He's like, and you're like this little nothing podcaster, but I'm just as excited.
Let's be honest.
So my friend and I were
Emily.
laughing. We're like, that was funny. But that felt that was a nice one. So thank
That
you.
is very nice. I like the Miss Morse. That's very, very nice.
Yeah, I was like, but wait, how does he know me?
What if he said Miss Sex? That would have been funnier.
That would have been funnier.
Excuse me, Miss Sex. Would you like the?
What if he said, Miss Morse, you slept with my roommate last week or something?
Oh,
No.
you'd
Or my
probably
friend
be
in
right.
college.
You'd probably be correct.
I probably didn't. No,
Yeah.
I have not had sex like in a while. Oh wait, is that true? Yeah.
Oh, you have to think about it.
I know. Isn't that weird?
That's sad.
I need like a
It's
flow
sad.
chart. No, it really has been a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to Ken about that. I bet he can fix that.
Ken's amazing. I like to keep it separate though. He doesn't
Okay.
know all about my sex stuff. Okay, but he listens to the show and then he learns things. Okay, should we do a little bit of sex in the news?
Let's absolutely do some sex in the news.
Okay. Science claims mastering afterplay will make you better at sex.
More work for dudes.
Exactly.
I hear it coming. Here it comes.
We talk a lot about foreplay.
Uh-huh.
We talk a lot about during, but afterplay. And I could not agree more. So afterplay is
It's when
the
you guys
most
get up, go to the kitchen, make a sandwich.
That's what guys do, or they fall asleep. And that is the biggest bummer in the world because I get it though. When a guy has an orgasm, typically after sex, that's when the cuddle
Job is
hormone.
done.
No, yeah, because he ejaculated, the job is done, and a lot of men just fall asleep. Scientifically, the job is done,
yeah.
and their cortisol, like, everything spikes, and you actually do get tired. For a lot of men, like
Thank
you
you for
you can't
telling me
fall
that.
asleep.
What happens? Yes.
Not every man, but a lot of them. And for a woman though, for me, and I'm not saying every woman, but like when we have sex and you just like fall asleep, you're like and goes right to snoring. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm alone. I'm dying.
Yeah.
Like kiss me, tell me I'm hot, and then fall
Right.
asleep. Like I need something, right? So it is the most ignored part of sex. And afterplay is a time of nice cuddles and soft kisses you give each other after passionately banging. So, a lot of people just roll over, fall asleep. And the thing is, while some people take part in this romantic afterplay, many fail to do so, which is a shame because women totally dig afterplay. Science says so.
I say so. I know so, but guys know this, right?
This is scientific. According to researchers at University of Kansas, it was found that afterplay is just as important as foreplay. And it was also found that foreplay and afterplay are more enjoyable than the actual part of sex for many women. So
Those are so weird.
the women, I know, dude. If you didn't think that women's sexuality was confusing enough, women in the study expressed that if they know foreplay and afterplay are going to be amazing, they'd be more than happy to reciprocate that sexual generosity and please their man during intercourse. Like, could mean a stellar blowjob, it could mean whatever. But if they know they're going to get some cuddles after, or a little oral, they're happy. So also, if you keep up the intimacy after sex, it leaves them with a good impression. It's like leaving people, like she feels cuddled, she feels happy, she wants to have sex again. And it's romantic. It's more about the romance.
Can I say this though, Evan? It gets a little bit dicey when we're talking to, like, the last show that I did with you. We had an email of a girl who's dating all sorts of different guys, right? And once you give in to the afterplay, women are doing that psychologically, mentally, physically, and with science because evolutionarily they're looking for a partner to nest with,
pair bonding,
and
right?
stay. So
pair.
I feel like guys shouldn't even begin to start, giving into this a lot, especially if they're playing the field and they have no interest in sticking around or seeing this girl through. I think it's sending the wrong message, and I think that it's rude. And it's her oxytocin's going nuts, and she's getting like more attached. And
Then why should you get blowjobs and we shouldn't get cuddling at the end? If it's just as enjoyable
it's not
for us.
fair to you guys.
Why?
Because it's like we're writing a check that we're not going to cash.
But if I'm sleeping with three guys and we all cuddle at the end, why do I care?
But no, because if you're cuddling, you're getting attached.
No.
Yeah, you are.
Not always.
Usually, that's
It's
what
a
do you want
requisite for me.
to. Do you want to cuddle with somebody you're not going to be attached with? That's
I
weird.
like them enough to sleep
That's
with them. I want to
sociopathy.
cuddle.
That's crazy.
No, if I like you enough to sleep with you, I want to cuddle for a minute, not the whole night, but I want to. Yes, I want to feel. I'm not like the kind of person that can just go in and sleep with someone and leave. Like
Right.
that to me, that this resonated with me because I love the intimacy, but I'm able to separate that from monogamy in the past. Like I can still be intimate with multiple
I get the sex
people.
part, why why everyone would like that, because of the climax and it feels great and all this and that. But then what comes after that is much more psychological, I think. And I think there's a whole lot of pheromones and things being transferred.
That's what happens.
And it's about connection, which
you get connected. It's true.
You are talking about how people are less connected than ever, and it's a great thing because they're dating around. And then if you start giving into this at the tail end of it, I think it's going to muddle things and make people have more intense feelings and get more fucked up.
Okay, but I understand what you're saying for people who are not really
trying to give guys
adept at. No, I'm saying, and not every woman wants. I'm not saying that nothing here is like every single person on the planet wants it. I'm just saying you're talking about non-monogamy. Even people in relationships is important. I'm just saying that afterplay is a new term that you might not have thought about, and you should think about that it's important. So. How hard is it to say, babe, that was great, rub your hands over her body, kiss her, cuddle, then fall asleep?
And I'm just kind of playing a little devil's advocate. And I don't have any problems with the after cuddles. I like the cuddles. The cuddles are nice. And I don't have to fall asleep right away. I actually dated a girl for a while where she would get very energetic and clean the house right afterwards. So we had spick and span living space. That was nice. But I would feel guilty when I was like dating around and I'd do the cuddle thing. I'd be like, God, this doesn't feel right. Like the sex felt right, but the actual cuddle, this feels like treacherous.
Because
weird.
You didn't want to be there because you didn't really.
Because I knew she was like one of a few.
Right. No,
it's like I feel like I'm.
I totally get what you're saying. That for a lot of guys, that's like you only do that with your.
Yeah, like the people, the ones that you're really like. Down for the cause.
I could see that, and I could see that women could feel the same way if they're sleeping with people. They're like, this is way too intimate. I just want to wham bam. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Okay. So, like, I'm not saying that, like, again, the sex police are going to knock on your door if you don't do the afterplay.
I cringe at the idea of a girl sitting on the end of a
misappropriate
bed
afterplay,
saying, "What about the afterplay? Where's the afterplay?
Right. But for me, this resonated because when I was in a relationship with a guy, we started out and it was like he just wasn't a cuddler. And the first few times we slept together, he would just fall asleep. And I literally felt like I was cold and dying and starving. I was like, I'm alone in this bed. Like it felt so lonely.
Yeah, I bet.
And
I felt like a receptacle a little bit.
I felt like what happened to something. I needed that to kind of like after
reassurance.
Closure.
What about a pat in the head and like helps you clean up and then
exactly. And I just need that connection at the end, and that was in a relationship.
Make at least a little effort, like some eye contact.
Pretend you care, and it was hot.
Say good job, and pat him on the ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done.
Right.
All right.
Something. Okay. So that's our sex in the news. That was very controversial.
You still have not come close, Em, to topping the ultimate sex with the news. And I still tell strangers in bars. I love talking about the Swedish one where the guy was beaten off on the beachfront, and he got arrested, but they didn't charge him because he wasn't making eye contact.
Exactly.
A judge said, "Oh yeah, we can't charge you with public indecency because you weren't making eye contact with anyone. You were staring at a seashell." That's my favorite Sex in the News story.
That is
ever.
right, and
God,
that
it
is
was
very
great.
true. There was no eye contact and no afterplay. That is hilarious. I'm sorry I haven't topped that yet, but my goal for 2017.
Yes.
I want to top that for
I'll
you,
let you know.
Anderson.
Yes.
Now that I know your genre
that's my
of
genre.
favorite toys,
Yeah,
favorite toys.
Favorite stories.
I love toys. Favorite stories.
Public indecency.
I would do that for you.
Yeah, getting off the hook.
Okay, listen, you're the best. We're going to take a quick break. We were actually going to talk to Carrie from UV. She made the coolest thing ever. But let's give a shout out to our sponsors, everyone. Thank you for supporting these amazing brands and products and cool things that will change your sex life that we work with. I love them. I hope you love them too. And we'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to talk to Carrie Martz. She's the inventor of UV and co-founder of Clean Light Labs. Okay, this was one of my favorite new inventions of the year, of last year. I went to these trade shows and everyone's like, have you seen the UV? Have you seen the UV? It is the coolest thing. It charges and cleans your sex toys and pleasure products, which is a huge issue for a lot of people. It kills like 99.9% of all harmful bacteria. It looks like it's like a little mini dishwasher, but it's like elegant and sleek, and you can leave it by your bed or in your wherever. No one will know what it is. But I hate when my toys are not charged and when they're not clean. Like, what's the point in having them? So it's just really cool technology. I want to hear all about it, how she invented it, and I can't wait to talk to her. Hey, Carrie, it's Emily.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking the time to call in. I've just been raving about the UV and that it's the coolest thing I saw in 2016, and now people can actually get their hands on it in 2017.
I know. I'm excited about that too.
I'm excited. So, okay, I would like to know like how you. First of all, I love that you developed this with your daughter, Brooke, who's amazing. But I want to know like how you came up with this. Like, how did you come up with this brilliant idea?
Well, I wish I could take the credit for it, but it was actually Brooke. I was, after I'd sold my advertising agency, I was looking at other projects to get involved with, and a woman had asked me to help with her branding and development of a toothbrush sanitizer and also a baby pacifier sanitizer. And I had them out on my kitchen counter, and I was looking at them and showing them to my somewhat OCD daughter, who was 5 months pregnant at the time. And she and her husband were over, and, you know, she said, Mom, I just got one of these warning blogs in your 5th month of pregnancy, what they tell you to do and not do. And one of them was talking about how to be very careful using toys during pregnancy because some of them may not be clean enough.
Ooh.
And she said, you ought to have this gal who's doing toothbrush sanitizers do it for vibrators.
Wow.
And, you know, I thought, boy, I wonder if there's somebody doing that. And being a toy user myself, I wanted to see how clean they really were. So I started looking at the industry. No one was doing it. There was not one universal method recommended for cleaning toys. And again, being concerned with some germs and actually myself getting infections from toys and not really realizing it was from toys.
Right. So you had because I hear this all the time now. I mean, I don't because I know like a toy cleaner, but most people don't. Like they're buying these really expensive toys and they're like, oh, it's fine. I put it back in my drawer. Like people don't know to clean it. But you had an infection as well. And you several.
Yeah, I was single at the time and using toys instead of having sex. So I know it couldn't have come from sex. And I went to see my gynecologist, and I was too embarrassed to tell her that I wasn't having sex, which is kind of funny.
Right.
And,
Right.
and so she said, no, you've got this thing, this infection again. I go, I wonder how I'm getting that. But when you really do think about where we do put our toys, it's not just that you clean them.
Right.
It's also how you store them. And then even right after you use the toy, do you really get up and sanitize it? Not often. So this is just a system that is not only about cleaning and sanitizing a toy, but it's making it readily available for you when you want to use it, which is why we added the charging system to it and the fact that it's locked up. So people that you don't want to get into it can't.
Right. It's so smart because I always say like the biggest, you know, I get more toys than anybody. And this is my problem is that I have nowhere to store them and that they're often not charged or I didn't clean them. But the charging thing is huge for me too because I'm like, oh God, it's dead. It's such a bummer. But to know that it's always going to be clean and ready to go. I was thinking about it. It's almost like if you bought a Ferrari and like you didn't maintain it, like you left it in your garage and they never had gas in it. You're like, why did I buy this nice car? You know, and buying a nice sex toy is a gift that we give ourselves. Like we'll spend $200 on a toy. And I always hear from people like, I lost the charger. I think it's ruined. It's dirty. It's like, no, you didn't care for your toy. You know, treat it like any other electronic that you buy and take care of it. And I love that the UV is this place that you could just place it in there and it's like ready to go. Like you don't have to think about it again, right? It's like dropping your car off to get detailed. It comes back. It's ready to go. It's like, this is the thing. It's like every time you use your toy, it will last you forever. Your toy should last you. And so I just think it's brilliant because I even realize now, Carrie, after seeing the UV and like, I'm like, oh my God, like sometimes I'll spray, like I have like a spray cleaner by my bed and I'll clean it. But then I might use it again a week later thinking it's even me. I'll be like, oh, it's clean. I'm like, you know, now I'm over I'm like, no, it's probably not because it's been in my drawer. So just because I cleaned it right after doesn't mean that 3 days later or a week later it's still clean.
No, and it doesn't. And we've scientifically proven that. So
talk to me about the science.
Claims, you know, aimlessly important. So we worked with a Harvard microbiologist and we tested our product against foams and sprays and on very hardy bacteria, we are 2 to 5 times more effective. And we're not competing with foams and sprays. There's a place for everybody in this space, and we're excited because manufacturers of great, innovative products that are making certainly toys more exciting, like Lalo came in and said, we want to partner with you on your Kickstarter, and they know that they're making very unique, innovative toys that are doing crazy things, and so it's not as easy to clean.
Right.
And for them to say, hey, put a innovative toy like Lalo in with a UV, and you've got a perfect match. That is great validation for us.
Exactly.
We're excited to have
I love it
like
too.
that.
And I know Oh My Bod and Rabbit Company also came on board because they're like, yeah, we wanted you to keep using our toys as well. And we don't want you to get an infection, and we want it to be charged, because that's a bummer for them too when your toys aren't charged. So that's really, so how it works, like, it's cool. So you put, I mean, I've seen it, but like, and before you called, I was telling everyone how it's just like, it was like the buzz of all the shows I went to. People were like, have you seen the UV? Like, I haven't seen in 12 years anything like it. And it just seems to solve like a lot of the problems. But how you explain it, I'm like, it's like a little mini dishwasher that you close it and the light turns on, but it's much sleeker and more elegant. And it charges it in how many minutes? And I mean, it cleans it in like no time, right?
Well, the big unit, the home play, will accommodate at least 3 big toys. And we made it large enough for very large toys like the Magic Wand. And it has 3 USB charging stations in it, so it's really a big system. And that only takes 10 minutes to completely go through the entire sanitizing process, and it kills 99.9% of all the germs found on the toys.
Well,
10 minutes.
Yeah,
so
it's funny because
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that is so cool, because now the more I'm talking about this, people are like, oh, I heard about, like, friends. I was out with a friend the other night, and she was like, I'm sure you've had this too, Carrie, that she's like, I got an infection from my toy. Like, everyone's telling me now. And she's like, I need to get one of those, So it is more common than we think. And so congratulations with this invention, but also congratulations on getting accepted on Kickstarter, because I know you were like the second only adult related product to make it onto the Kickstarter platform, which is amazing.
Yeah, we're excited. Yeah, that we were accepted. We have 2 weeks left of our campaign. It was a little tough during the holidays, but I'm telling you, we are hitting it strong for these last 2 weeks. And these folks that order on Kickstarter will be the first to receive the product.
Okay.
And there's some pretty wonderful things that you've brought to the table on that. And I'm excited to have someone with your credibility and endorse and act as a spokesperson for our product. We couldn't have asked for someone with more authority and more experience than you.
Oh,
and
thanks,
Emily,
Carrie.
you've been great.
Oh, thanks, Carrie. I'm honored that you invited me to do it. Like, I'm just something that I'm like just so excited about. So thank you for that. And also, if everyone, they got 2 weeks left. If you go to my website and you click on the UV banner, it'll take you to the Kickstarter page. We did a really fun video there that shows you and tells you about it.
Yes, you did.
But also the perks. I love that we've like, people can like, you can buy a perk to be, you can like contribute to it, and then you could have a perk to be on the actual show. You can buy a pledge to be on the podcast. You can get signed copies of my book.
You get lunch. You can have lunch with you.
Have lunch with Emily. That would be fun. I want to meet you guys. I love meeting my listeners. You could do a 15-minute video call with me, and I will answer any question you have. And you're supporting a good cause. If you like toys, you like the pleasure industry, and innovators like Carrie, and a product that'll change your life, I think you should do it. Check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and Happy New Year, and thank you again. I can't wait to get mine. Like, I'm so excited. Like, the real deal for everyone.
Soon.
Yeah.
We're weeks away.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you.
Call up and be
All
a part
right.
of this. And thank you, Carrie, and Happy New Year, and I will see you soon. Congratulations on all your success.
Happy New Year to
Thanks.
you.
Bye, Carrie.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I am so excited for everyone to get this. So I think if you guys are cool with it, just check out if you're not sure, you're like, what is she talking about? Go to, again, my page and just click on the UV banner, and just, if you have anything, just watch the fun video. It's really fun. It's a cool video. And it explains to you, if you even have one toy or you've like 500 toys like me, you're going to see why you need this. So it's awesome. Thank you, Carrie. All right. Now is the time you've all been waiting for. Emails. I love answering your questions. I love hearing from you. If you want to send me a question, it's really easy. sexwithemily.com. Click on the Ask Emily banner Ask Emily tab. And when you do that, you can just submit your question right there. And you can also pay attention to the little box that says, would you like to be called? Because we're going to do more call shows this year. I've had so much fun. You were here, Anderson. We killed it. So what we do is you say you want to be called, and then assistant producer Eddie will call you and set up a time, and then I call you, and then we can really get into your problems and solve them. Because sometimes through emails, I just don't have all the facts. You can also leave me a voicemail, 818-ASK-SWE1. And I love when you include your information, your name, your gender, where you live, and how you listen to the show.
And how old you are.
I said that right?
Can't be given tips to 14-year-olds now.
No.
Hey, you ever get just random questions? You probably don't even see them, right? Like, hey, who do you like the track this week? You ever get just weird questions, or are they always sex related? You know what I mean?
I think we get all kinds of weird questions, yeah.
Who's your favorite football team, Em?
I do get things like that. Yeah, we get everything. Yeah.
We should do a wild card one every now and again.
Just pick up the last one that came in. We should.
Yeah.
Should I do that? Not right now.
Not right now.
Okay, but let's. We'll
I like
put
the
a note
idea
in
of doing that. Either just pulling one from a hat, or just going with an odd question that has nothing to do with sex, something about you, from a listener.
Eddie reads Eddie, do we get any random things like that?
Questions about you?
Yeah,
It's
that
odd
people want to
questions.
know stuff.
Like they want to have sex with you?
Like they want to have sex
How
with
many
you.
of the emails want to have sex with me?
Like I would say at least 20 to 30%.
20 to 30%.
20-30% are like, I want to
How
have sex
many
with
of them
you.
are ladies?
No.
No, really? You don't have the lesbian market cornered. Huh?
But are they nice guys? Sometimes Madison will you'll
Are
forward
you
them.
thinking
like, he
about
sounds
doing
nice.
this, Em? What is going on?
They're always nice.
So 20 to 30% of the emails come in. They want to bang me. Are they nice guys, Eddie? Are they local? Do they have pictures, Ed? Do they specify circumcised? Hey, new question. You got to answer.
I like any of them?
When you're sending your emails, let us know where you live, your date, your age, your sex, and if you're circumcised or not for Em.
No, I don't care if you're circumcised.
Yeah, but you like to know what you're getting into, right? You don't like
That's
to get
not
caught with a
important. I
surprise
want to know
look.
if you love your mom.
You
and
know
have
you
the-
get caught with a surprised look on your face. If you see the uncircumcised, you're not prepared for it. It's startling. It's
That's
jarring.
funny. That's actually one of our questions today.
Good.
Did you know that?
I think you might have talked about it at the top.
It's not that jarring. Here's the thing. It's really
I've
not.
seen them in restrooms.
Yeah, but you didn't have one in your mouth.
And it's terrifying. I'm like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah, because you're a dude and you see penises
you know what's
all the
weird?
time.
5 of my bridesmaids, my groomsmen, 5 of my groomsmen, 3 of them were uncircumcised. We know because
How
the night
did you
before
know?
we
Did you
all
take a
whipped
poll?
them out and I beat off onto a bagel. Whoever
What?
finished last had to eat it.
You
It's a thing that we did.
please tell me you're lying.
I'm lying. I have heard that people do that.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you didn't do that.
Thank God I didn't do that. Of course I didn't do that. But no, 3 of my 5 friends, you're really close with people. You're going to hear about it and maybe hear things and see things. But yeah, 3 of the 5 are not circumcised.
Okay, yeah. What does that mean? Are they from
It
foreign
means-
countries?
I don't know what it means. I'm not sure. I've never. Yeah,
Can
actually,
we get
you know
them on
what?
the phone? What?
Yeah, 2 of them were born from out of
But
the
typically,
country.
it's Americans typically do get circumcised, but a lot of
I
Europeans.
circumcised my son, or actually, I was in there holding him when they did it the day after he was born, and we got a lot of blowback. A lot of people in our lives told us not to do it.
Blowback?
A lot of people told us not to do it.
But you did it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we did
yeah,
it. I mean,
yeah.
I worked on Loveline for 20 years. I know why you do it.
Yeah,
a lot of
but
bad
it's-
things can happen.
Yeah, but a lot of good things can happen too.
We'll talk about more
Here
of
we
that
go.
later. Right?
But let's talk about this email.
Okay.
Hi, Emily. My girlfriend and I recently started listening to your show and love it. I've recently started deep diving into old episodes and came across, no pun intended, don't ask, don't tell, the sex number rule, where you gave the sound advice that it's best not to know how many people you slept with. Your partner or something.
More mystery, less history.
Right. Here's the thing. I love hearing about my partner's number. In fact, I love hearing about every filthy detail from their past. How many partners they've had, what the guys or gals they've been with were like, what their kinks were, how well endowed they were, etc., etc., etc. I've explored these topics of conversation somewhat with my partner, and she's always honest and more than willing to share. But how do I explore this kink without being nosy or disrespectful? Thanks, Scott, age 31.
How do you develop that, Em? What is that?
You know what? It's just like how you develop anything, any fantasy, what turns you on. I mean, I think it means that like
It's like cuckolding.
it's like cuckolding in a way.
Yeah.
It is cuckolding, which means like you want to watch your partner, typically came like your wife, have sex with another man. But I gotta tell you, I hear this from guys, not a lot, but it's not completely uncommon that they're like, "Con turns me on." Most guys would be jealous. they can never get that thought of that guy with the 15-inch penis, like, and that he doesn't match
Right.
up. So it doesn't work for most guys. But for whatever reason, like I hear it from guys who are like in happy relationships. I know a guy who's been married for 10 years. He's like, because everyone tells me everything, and he's just like, what bums me out? He's like, I love, he loves his wife. He's like, but I always want her to tell me about like guys she's been with before, and she doesn't feel comfortable. He's like, but it turns me on so much. And
She should just make some shit up then, lady. What's
but
the
she
matter
like
with you?
doesn't want to do it. And then I was out with an ex-boyfriend actually for dinner last night from years ago. He's in town, and he said that he is dating a girl who gets really jealous because they're like open relationship, and she gets really jealous of him. But he's like, I love hearing all the people that she's with. He's like, I don't know why. Is that weird? I'm like, no. So what I'm saying is, how does someone develop it? Who knows how? It's like how we develop any other our sexual kinks. Like,
Because
to
I can
me,
tell you it's the last thing I would want to hear.
I say the majority of men are like, I can never get that image out of my head, and that's all they're going to think about, and then they're going to use it against you. So I would not. So for women, tread lightly here, or guys, or whoever you're dating. If your partner says they want this information, test it, because there could also be the reverse where the person's going to use it against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But typically, Scott, I get what you're saying. I know this isn't as common, but
It's out there. There's a movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever by David Lynch. It's called Wild at Heart with Nicolas Cage and Laura
Saw
Dern.
that.
And there's a scene where he's describing to her a past sexual experience that he had in great detail about taking a bite of peach and all this stuff, and that she want to go down on him. And Laura Dern is his girlfriend in the movie, and she's like Lola. She's like listening real intently, and she's completely getting off on it. And that was my first exposure to that. And I was like, that is so odd.
right. Well,
I don't get that, but I
think
know
it's
that it's out there.
It is out there. So I would,
I wish I had it.
But here's the thing. I wish I had it too. I would love to be able to tell guys like my stories if they would be into it. Like if he wanted to listen. I mean, because they're pretty good
You're just
stories.
doing the girl thing, though. We're like, as long as they're listening to me and anything I have to say,
No,
they just need
I
to be
think
good
I've got
listeners.
some good stories. I actually did have an ex who wanted me to tell him about all my like threesomes. Not that I've had that many, but when I had, he was like, "Tell me this, tell me that.
How
What
long did
happened?"
it take you to tell?
What do you mean?
Like, were you done by the
Like
end
a
of
20-minute
dinner,
story?
or like
No,
were you
it's like
still
a 5-minute
telling the
story? But
story?
then it was like a 5-minute story, but he wanted more details. So then I would like make up
You
stuff.
started throwing things in.
Yeah, I was like,
You
oh,
got a
yeah.
good story. You got a new a kind of relevant new story.
I do what?
Yeah, Mexico. Ooh, yeah, masseuse
People
man.
love that story.
Masseuse boy. Yeah.
I had a little Mexican lover.
Every time I pass a massage parlor, which is often because I live out in the valley and they're everywhere. They're on every corner next to a donut store. Every single
think
corner.
about me?
I think about you.
He's hot. I loved him.
But you're never going to see him again.
I know. Well, hey, I know where he is. I know where he works. I know where his hut is on the beach. So, so here's the thing. I think it'd be kind of cool if a guy wasn't going to get jealous and go crazy.
It's hot.
And let me tell you something. I'm trying to think I've had a guy who shared his stuff with me. I don't really get jealous. Okay, this is what we don't want to hear. I don't want to hear like how hot she was and that she gave me the best blowjob of my life, but kind of like this cool thing happened or she went down on me or anything.
Yeah,
I don't
describe
get
the actual
I'm not a jealous
activities.
person though. Yeah, you don't want to hear
without
like you
making
don't
the
want
other
to
person
use
feel threatened.
you don't want to speak in superlatives like it was the best ever and this and that, but details.
Absolutely.
I get it. So it's actually healthy to talk about your past. Like Scott, here's the thing. Okay, so Scott, going back to your question is, your partner's down with it. She's more than willing to share, and you want to know how do you do it without being nosy or disrespectful. So I think you should just like reinforce that it really turns you on when she tells you these stories, and that tell her that you're concerned. Say the second this gets weird to you, or the second you feel like I'm pushing you too far, or I'm being disrespectful, let me know. But honestly, I just love hearing about you turned on. It turns me on.
He should bring it up like during the act of actual sex while they're already heated up, or do you
Well,
think he brings it up over dinner?
My friend's husband, whose wife won't do it, he says he wants to hear it during sex because it turns
But how
him on.
does he broach the subject?
Oh, I see.
While they're both hot and getting, because she might be more apt to like an open and kind
I
of go
think
with
the
the flow.
next day when you guys are together at lunch or dinner, you could be like,
After, okay.
God, last night, I cannot stop thinking about that sex last night. When you started telling me about that guy who went down on you in the kitchen pantry.
No, you're talking about after the fact though.
Oh.
Like how do you bring it up? So you bring it up during the act of sex is when he should bring up the fact that he would like to hear these things.
Well, I think he's already done. They're already doing it. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, she's down with it.
She
It's
just
already
doesn't like
happening.
it.
No. He said that I love hearing about it, how many partners she's had, and she's always honest and willing to share. So she's down with it.
Okay.
So far, so good.
But he just doesn't want to seem like he's
But
pushing
he's
the
afraid he's
boundaries
going to push
too
it.
much.
So I would say, babe, that was hot when you told me that story about
Positive reinforcement.
about the threesome you had in college. I want you to know that, like, I just think it's really hot to think of you having pleasure. But if the second you feel like I'm pushing you too much or it's disrespectful, let me know.
Yeah.
Done. But
And if she has a problem with that, dump that bitch.
right. And explain to her that it truly is like it just turns you on. And, I don't know if you like it during or if it's foreplay or whatever. But I think just be honest. Honesty is the best policy. She's down with it. That's cool. Not every woman's going to be down with it.
You ever done a show?
Think you're going to be judged. You're going to judge her, which, that's the other thing that if I was a friend telling me this and she was with a new guy and he was like, he wants to see around my past, I'd be like, he might use it. He might be like, "Oh, you slut," or use it against you.
Yeah, there are some devious
I've
dudes
had
out
guys
there
like
that
that.
are. You know who those guys are? Those are the guys that have like ex-girlfriends named Mike in their phone. Those real devious fuckers,
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you just gonna say?
You ever do a show with Lycus or ever have to share space or a microphone
Tom Lycus
with
was
him?
on my show early on. Yeah,
He was on your show early on. I didn't
we
know
were
that.
both on Free FM, and it was like my second month.
Wow.
And I'm terrified. He was the big name on the station, and my show
young.
from was 11 to 2
Right.
at night. And the program director comes in.
I
and he
knew
goes,
all that. I remember all this. So I don't remember him
Tom
coming
Lycus,
on.
He goes, Tom Lycus is here. He's going to come in a minute after the commercial break. I was like, ugh. Like, I was so nervous.
And he came with sunglasses.
Yeah, I have the tape actually
and
of it.
Probably red wine in his
Red
hand.
wine. And he was like, hey. And he was like,
Were the
"Oh."
sunglasses on?
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
And he was like, most women, I remember it. I still have it on. And he was like, they want this or that. I'm like, I'm not like, because you know me, I'm really not that woman
Right.
that he would talk
Right.
about. Tom Lycus is a
He would
radio
talk
personality.
About, I think most of your listeners probably are at
Do you
least
think?
familiar with it.
I don't know. He wasn't everywhere. I'd never heard him until.
Eddie, you know who Tom Lycus is? I see Michael nodding. Good.
But he was
I don't
kind
want
of a
people to know.
misogynist, and he kind of had the same rap over and over again about how men should like never have a woman move in, don't pay for drinks.
Dump that bitch.
Right. So he was just talking about how women don't.
Flash
And I
Friday.
was like, I'm not like that. He's like, well, you're not the typical female. It wasn't as scary as I thought. But what were you going to say about Tom Lycus? So
I
that
just
he's like
quoted
that?
him and I wanted to see if
Got it.
I said dump that bitch and you actually just rolled with her. Yes, absolutely. Dump that bitch. Yes.
I didn't know you were quoting him.
When I said if she couldn't handle the nice way that you
Dump
suggested
that
that he
bitch.
put it, you got to kick that bitch to the
Don't
curb.
dump that bitch. That's mean. Don't say that. See, now I'm correcting you. Okay, one more.
ML, yes.
Because you want to talk about uncircumcised penises.
Oh, let's do it.
Hey,
the
Emily.
elephant dicks.
I love, dude.
That's what they look like.
No, they
look
don't.
like elephant trunks.
Maybe. Okay. I mean, I don't see that way. I just see a beautiful penis. Like,
And I realize that there's 3 men in this room, and there's 1 woman, and there's a very good chance that there's an uncircumcised dick in this room. And
Right behind you.
And I'm being rude.
Eddie has one.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, Eddie, in this country, they look really different and they're scary.
He doesn't care. We've talked all about his penis.
I mean, penises are scary to me to begin with, but when they got the
You're
extra,
a heterosexual male.
yes, but when they got the extra little bits there, it's like, oh Jesus.
Okay, well, let me tell you from a woman's perspective.
Okay.
I've been with several, and
Yeah, but let's be fair. Your name is Sex with Emily.
no, this is pre-sex with Emily.
Okay.
First time I was in Europe, I was backpacking, and I met a guy
Oh,
from
yeah.
London, and he was uncircumcised, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, it didn't even,
I
it
wonder
didn't
if
faze
my
me.
father-in-law's uncircumcised.
Yeah, he probably is. Okay,
He's
listen.
British. Oh no. I'm never going to the gym with that guy.
Well,
okay.
why? Just because it's different. I get it. To me, it's like you're gonna find. Well, let's answer Marie's question. I love your show. I started dating this guy, and he sent me a Snapchat pic of his penis. I was the one that asked for it. It's sort of a turn on for me. Anyway, I noticed that he has an uncircumcised penis. I've never been with a man who is uncircumcised. Any suggestions on how to handle one? I need help. Thanks, Marie, age 26. The first good point here is never send dick pics unless someone requests it, because I got a dick pic on Snapchat last night, and you know what I do? I block that person.
Eddie, real quick, I know you're way off mic, but how many dick pics do you get in the email ask questions?
Oh, at least like once a day.
Once a day. A
Don't
dick pic a
encourage-
day.
Really?
A dick pic a day for
Dick
M.
pic a day keeps
What's
the...
a guy thinking about that? Because you're like a professional. You give out like really solid advice. You got the education. You're behind a microphone. People respect you. Hey, I'm going to send her a dick.
It happened to me on Snapchat. I was just falling asleep. I just block them. So don't. If you send me a dick pic, I will
But
block
then
you.
you dreamed about the dick.
No, it was just ew. No one wants to see a dick in the wild. You don't want to see a dick
Especially
that
not
you
an
don't know who the
uncircumcised
person is. I don't care if it's uncircumcised.
joking.
You don't want to see a person's dick you don't know. You want to ask for it. You
Yeah.
want to know it's coming. It's like, ugh. Like
Yeah,
you
coming.
just,
You want to know if it's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Okay, so only 10 dick pics requested is the
Right.
first point here.
Good
so
point.
Here's the thing about what you need to know about the uncircumcised penis is that they have more nerve endings, which is why they're more sensitive. Uncircumcised guys might deal with condoms differently. Like some like the foreskin pulled down, some don't. So let him do it the first time you're together and ask him to show you what he likes. Like you could do a little mutual masturbation, like watch what he likes. But it's not, don't fixate on it. Like it's really not like Anderson's fixating on it more than... I'm telling you, it's like, it's really not that different. You get erect, you can't see the foreskin goes away a lot. Like you just...
Come prepared with Q-tips and rubbing alcohol.
Listen, the most important thing is that he stays clean, that he's clean before and clean after. A lot of guys who are uncircumcised know this. Don't body shame him. Don't fixate on it. It's really no big deal. Like I literally had to stop and think when I read this before the show. I was like, okay, I dated a guy for 2 years before I moved here that was uncircumcised.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't even remember. Like, it was never even an issue. It was like...
Well, you told me you employed the don't look down method when you were having sex. You never looked down because it was going to be too disturbing for you.
No, I never said that.
No?
So tips, okay, they're more sensitive. Make sure he cleans. Hand jobs can be easier. The foreskin moves better. It's kind of having like a fleshlight built into your penis, like a sleeve that goes up and down.
Yeah, like one of those kids' toys, right?
Ask him how
you know those
sensitive.
things?
No.
They're like little inside-out water balloons. They're really fun. And
Yes,
they slip
I know
inside.
what you're talking about.
That's always
Kinda
reminded
like
me of an uncircumcised wiener.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when you touched it, it felt like that? Or
Yeah.
Right. How sensitive, again, ask him how he likes to be touched. Definitely wear condoms as you always should and just treat it with love. Like it's a part of his body. You're going to find that once you see it, like it's really, I can understand you have anxiety around it, but it's like really it's really not that different, except for it's more sensitive.
Way more natural than my wiener.
And you can tell him, you can say, but God, that's so hot. You can say, I've never been with one, but like, I want to know exactly what to do. I think that's so hot.
So she has not had sex with this man. She's not touched his ween, but she's seen his peen, and she knows it's uncircumcised. It's weird. It's a weird world we live in.
It is a real...
Girls are seeing their partner's dicks before they even touch them. That's odd.
I know, it is odd. You're right. Well, at least she has time to prepare an email sex with Emily now, and I can help her.
You know what I would do if I had an uncircumcised penis back in the day, back in my heyday? Any excuse I could muster or find to like have an excuse to show a girl I was interested in, like to get the wiener out of the pants and show her, like
in the bar, you just whip it out,
or like younger days, like a house party or something. Like, oh yeah, I swear, I got the Prince Albert. You want to see? Got the ladder. You want to see? I'll show you.
Would you show it to the crowd?
I never did this. I never had the excuse,
right?
And I never wanted to do it so badly that I would go get my dick pierced. But if I was not circumcised, if my damn parents didn't take my membrane away from me, foreskin,
right?
I would have had a built-in excuse.
You would join the circus, maybe, and just do not that it's a freak thing, but like that you could just have an excuse to show your penis everywhere. Not that you did the circus.
Yeah, that would take it to a whole new level.
Take it on the road,
or like I'm that guy that like just stretch like jelk for a living, and I just got my dick hanging.
Yeah, something. Just you'd like to be somewhere where you could be like an exhibitionist.
Right?
But that's not in the
What's
circus.
the percentage of people that aren't circumcised in this country? Do we know?
I would say in this country, I don't know the percentage, but I know that most are, but I know that in most of the world are not.
I'd say like 1 in 20 in this country, probably.
I would say that in most of the world they are not circumcised, but in America they are. That's what I have to say. But I joke.
I know there's a lot of people who aren't circumcised, and I
think it's hot. I'm like, oh my God, I actually
hot.
find it sexy.
I think we might be going a little too overcorrection there.
You don't suck them. Okay, that's a really great
Valid
way
point.
to end the show.
Have you ever been sucking an uncircumcised penis and you thought he came, but then you realized it was just a smegma?
It's never happened.
It's good.
No.
Because that would be awful.
Good question, though, Anderson. Okay, I love you. It's good to see you. Everyone, check out your podcasts.
Yeah, Cinematics, The Film Vault, and The After Disaster. We're still trucking. Cinematics is back for a new year. We just did some new movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Check out Anderson. Check him out.
Oh, and Groupers is coming along. Pre-production's really coming along. It's getting exciting. I haven't even had a chance to talk to you about it, Em. But my feature film that I'm making in about 2 months. I'm shooting it in March, April. And it looks like we have a location locked down. I'm going after some actors that I absolutely love their work. They're not big names or anything, but I'm trying to get some of these guys. And a girl. It's so much fun making, doing pre-production for my first feature film.
I love it.
So
well, thank you. And thank you to our listeners who supported it.
Yes,
who supported
and thank
the
you,
Kickstarter.
Emily, for helping me and all that stuff.
I love you. I'm
You're
so proud of you.
so supportive.
Of course, I love you. And I love everyone. And thank you, everyone, for just supporting the show and for following us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram stories, Snapchat, whatever, everything in the world. It's all at Sex with Emily. And I don't know. I just love you all. Happy New Year. Thanks for listening. Oh, wait. Hold on. Thank you, Michael, for doing the sound. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Anderson, of course. Thank you, Madison, Lori, Jamie, Ken, my amazing team.
Don't forget Ken.
Ken, we love you, Ken. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.